Mr. Chairman, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Excellencies, Bangladesh would commend the government of Egypt for convening this special session on the humanitarian crisis and the reconstruction challenges in Gaza and Lebanon. In this gathering, I particularly recognize in our midst His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine and Prime Minister Naguib of Lebanon, and valued accounts they just provided us. Thank you for your presence. We gather at a time when Israeli aggression and the 14-month-long brutal genocide against the Palestinian people continued unabated in the occupied Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Words should suffice very little. To say the least, we are in utter dismay at Israel's blatant disregard to long-held international norms, laws, and conventions. The ways the hostilities in Lebanon is spreading, there are heightened fears of further escalation. This can lend to dire and long-term consequences for peace and stability across the region, impacting global society and polity, not just economy. From Cairo, we must voice our unity and unwavering commitment in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters at this existential time in their history. Excellencies, throughout our history, Bangladesh has stood firmly in support of the Palestinian cause. We consistently condemn the illegal occupation and the violent repression carried out by Israel. We remain steadfast in advocating a just and lasting solution through a two-state solution to the crisis, with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and harmony. Palestine has to emerge as a fully independent and viable state based on the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. This is what we always articulated in detail before the International Court of Justice, and this February, as the court finally called Israel's occupation illegal in its advisory opinion. Both this year's advisory opinion as well as the one in 2004 on the wall provide important legal basis in our collective pronouncements. Bangladeshis are profoundly concerned over the current state of affairs. Palestinians are no expendable people that you cannot get rid of them. Every Palestinian life matters to the whole world. It is not an issue that merely concerns the Muslims, rather a universal cause where human dignity is tested. It is about universal pledge to protect the vulnerable. It is indeed our moral duty to stand by them resolutely. There are around 6 million Bangladeshi migrant workers and expatriate professionals across the region, including in Lebanon, who have been making significant contribution to the development of the countries across the Middle East. Their safety and security are also at risk. We call upon all actors and stakeholders, indeed beyond the region, to take decisive and collective actions to end the brutalities unleashed by the Israeli forces. The massacres in Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon are clear violations of international law and constitute war crimes. Those responsible must account. That's why last November, Bangladesh stood up at the International Criminal Court asking for expeditious investigations into the heinous crimes against humanity. Such actions on accountability can deter the perpetrators against further and future atrocities. Alongside, let us intensify our efforts on realization of a viable two-state solution. Excellencies, beyond humanitarian interventions, It is time to prioritize thinking of reconstruction of Gaza and the West Bank and Lebanon. United Nations has cautioned that removing the 40 million tons of rubble left in the wake of Israel's bombardment could take at least 15 years. We understand that this rubble may contain over 10,000 bodies of the deceased, and this is also contaminated with asbestos. Let D8 therefore kickstart a process with an approximate estimation of the cost of reconstruction in Palestine and Lebanon. We can thereon press on formulation of international strategies for resource mobilization. To end, yet again, let me place on record my gratitude to President 𝐻𝐿 for this initiative. I thank you.